Welcome to MCN. Today we're here to talk about 125s. Now it's something we don't talk about as much as we should because 125s are very, very important. They're an entry point to biking for lots of people. They're cheap runarounds, they're commuters, and they're a lot of fun. Now I could stand here and make a pretty decent fist of testing a 125, but to be honest I'm quite far away from the target audience. I mean, I was riding 125s in 1987. So, to give a more relevant view of these 125s, we've got in what they call a young person, called Joseph. Hello, mate.
All right, how are we doing?
Now, Joseph is a videographer at MCN, does all our video editing. Hasn't been with MCN for very long, but he's the reason the MCN videos look so good now. So, congratulations for that.
Cheers, mate.
And Joseph has actually done the journey of getting himself a 125. So explain your kind of biking journey so far.
Well, before I had the job, I hadn't even sat on a bike before. But quickly after watching you go around on track and everything, thought I had to get involved. So just went out, did my CBT.
Yeah.
It was really, really simple. Then kind of was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace until I found a 2012 Yamaha YBR.
Yeah.
And I just rode that back and forward for work for a whole year and yeah, just lived my life on that. Yeah, it was brilliant.
And what's it like having a motorbike?
Even a 125, it was just brilliant. Traffic, all the things that I hate about travelling in a car, it being boring and traffic and how much fuel is.
Yeah.
The bike just completely solved that for me.
Yeah, yeah. And now you can see why we're all passionate about bikes.
Yeah, of course.
Because it gets under your skin, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And in actual fact, full disclosure, you've just passed your test and you've got an A2 license now.
Yes.
And you've got yourself a Kawasaki ZX-R 400, which is amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it.
So you're kind of a step away from these, but you're still close enough to really relate to them.
Yeah, yeah. I've only just moved up, so yeah.
So what we've done, there's no kind of rhyme or reason of the bikes we've chosen. So we thought we would just ask Joseph what bikes he would actually buy if we were to give him a chunk of money, which we're not going to give you a chunk of money. So we gave Joseph a fictitious budget of up to £4,000, up to £5,000 and up to £6,000. And these are the bikes he's chosen. So let's run through cheapest first.
Yep.
What the bikes are and why you like and why you've chosen it. So this is the Zonti's G1 Scrambler, which looks fantastic.
Brilliant.
So why did you choose this one?
I thought it has quite a bit of substance there compared to what I had, which was the Yamaha YBR. It's a lot wider.
Yeah.
It's the scrambler type and the cafe racer between all of them is what I went for because it's a good start point. I feel like when you start your motorcycle journey, if you want to go into sports riding, if you want to go off-road, it's not super focused, so you can explore different avenues before moving up and then knowing what you want to ride on.
Yeah.
But the Zontis, I mean, I know people say about Chinese bikes, I was kind of suggested not to do that when I was buying bikes, but I think this one looks brilliant. Yeah. You did a review last year and you were fairly positive. So.
Yeah. And this is around about £3,500, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep. So next up is the Honda, which is about 4.5, isn't it?
Yes.
Why did you choose that one?
I thought the Honda is great all-rounder, and I thought as a 125 rider, for me, I wouldn't want to be locked into a sporty riding position on a bike. It's kind of pretending to be something it's never going to be with sub 15 horsepower.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And this Honda, I mean, it looks brilliant, looks really grown up to me, and yeah, I really like these. I like the Hondas all the way up through the range, the CBs, and yeah, I like the colour scheme, and yeah.
It's like a baby CB1000R, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it looks really cool. And then last but by no means least, one of my favourites is the Fantic Caballero Scrambler 125. This is about £5,500, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most expensive here. Why did you choose this one?
I mean, for me, it's like the holy grail of 125s. When I was riding them, if I could have bought anything, this was the dream one.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just does it all, and it being a scrambler, it doesn't look like a small. Obviously, it's got the smaller engine in there, but at first glance, you wouldn't think it is a 125.
No, that's right.
And yeah, I think it looks brilliant.
Yeah. Thanks for that. So what we're going to do is let Joseph loose with these bikes for the next 2 weeks. You can do what you want with them, ride them to work, go where you want. But what I want to do when we come back in a couple of weeks is for you to let me know what each bike is like to ride and which one you'd actually buy.
Sure thing,
Yeah,
can't wait.
sounds like a plan?
Yeah, brilliant.
So Joseph, you've been using these bikes for a couple of weeks now. You've done about 150, 200 miles on each, haven't you? You told
Yeah.
me. In these conditions, beginning of December, rather you than me. What I want to know first of all, you've obviously had a good time with them because I've seen you beaming your face off. What's it been like coming back from your 400 to 125?
Yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, 125, I was so desperate for more power and going to that, and then coming back down, being able to actually use, I'd say 90, 100% of what these bikes can do.
Yeah.
You really are pushing them to their limits. And
So you chose these three bikes just because you had no prior experience of them. You hadn't ridden them before, but you liked the way they looked. You thought you liked the way they were going to act, and have some of your opinions changed now?
Oh, for all of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
All right, then. Without further ado, then we'll go from third to first place.
Okay, yeah.
So third place, which is your last place bike.
The Fantic Caballero is my third place bike.
I mean, that surprised me because you absolutely were beaming about that.
Yeah.
So why is it down? It's the most expensive.
Yeah.
That's probably one reason. Because if I was going to give you £6.5 grand, you can take that away, or you can take these away and keep the change. So this is your choice. So what was it about the Fantic you liked and didn't like?
If money was no object, I'd choose this. But if it was, like you're saying, kind of value for money and what I'd actually choose and what's worth what, it is at the bottom. The good points about it, it doesn't feel like a 125.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know whether to tip my hat off to Fantic or call them a bit lazy, because they've taken their 500 model, knocked out the engine and put a 125 in, so no expenses spared, and it's super lightweight. The suspension feels brilliant. The proportions are proper big bike proportions, which actually has leaned into a bit of a negative on 5.8.
Yeah.
And if I was a beginner rider, I'd struggle with the height on this one.
Yeah.
It is, you're just on your tiptoes,
Yeah.
and waddling it around isn't the easiest. I kind of can't struggle to see who the bike's aimed at with that price point.
Yeah.
Being a 125. It looks absolutely fantastic, but for that kind of money, I think I'd rather probably get my A2 and get the 500 version of this.
Yeah, it's a serious little bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so second place.
I'm putting the Zonti's second place.
Oh, okay, so why is that?
If I was a new rider, this bike, and I mean a completely new rider,
Yeah.
this bike would be absolutely perfect. You get so many extra goodies, all crash protection everywhere, so you don't have to worry about dropping it.
Yeah.
You get the bar end mirrors, which I'm not too keen on, but it looks
You're
nice.
saying they sort of keep your hands a bit too hemmed in, don't they?
Yeah. When you start to moving around,
Yeah.
they do become a bit of a problem. But I like the proportions of this bike. You can get flat-footed, but it's really spacious on the pegs, to the bars, and also the tank. I think that's a 20-litre tank, and on this it's 11.
Yeah.
That is 10.
Yeah.
And it feels much wider, so it doesn't feel like a 125. You feel
Yeah.
nicely spaced out.
It's the cheapest as well, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant value.
Yeah. And one of the things you were saying at the beginning is the fact that you wanted to see what a Chinese bike would be like to live with. So
Yes.
how's that? Has it changed your perceptions at all?
I haven't obviously lived with it for months, so
Yeah.
the reliability in that department I don't feel like I've tested, but it's no different to the other ones, as in the gearbox and the suspension and all of those factors feel just as much quality as the
Yeah.
bigger name Japanese brand bikes.
Yeah. You were saying the engine performance and gearbox wasn't quite as sort of crisp as the others, though.
It's quite soft,
Yeah.
but that also makes it really forgiving,
Yeah.
as in like the throttle response is very, very loose and
Yeah.
not very direct compared to this, which is so accurate and
That's
so
just crisp, isn't it?
yeah,
Straight
exactly.
there. Yeah.
Whereas this, you can just ham it open and
Yeah.
have your fun. Yeah, it's brilliant through the corners, being low, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Well, that means that the CB125R is your pick of these 125. So why is that? Why is the Honda?
I think through this test, I mean, I've got my ZXR 400. I do like sports bikes, and it is the riding position is obviously a naked and comfortable, but you are cradled forwards. And having road tyres, it's kind of solidified my appreciation for a sporty riding position. And I really enjoyed going through the corners on it. And it just feels like it's really refined through many generations of this bike. The brakes feel excellent, and it didn't blow me away at the start, but throughout the week it's been the best to live with, without a doubt, and very sporty, and you can throw it around.
It's interesting that you chose these style of bikes because you like the look. But it is important with road wheels and tyres and suspension, they make the bikes much easier and much nicer to ride, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the knobblies on this, they look absolutely brilliant, but myself, if I owned this and I'd spent $5+ grand on it, I'd be a bit worried for taking it off-road for the first time and dropping it. I mean, it looks brilliant and I wouldn't want to ruin that.
That's like you were saying before off camera, the irony when you've got a bike this beautiful and you're learning, you don't want to hurt it, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
It might take away some of your enjoyment. So the Honda's your choice, that's the one you're going to ride away on, and what are you going to do with the change?
Probably spend my money to get my A2 licence if I was in the position of riding 125s. I think save your money and look forward to the rest of your biking journey, basically. But I mean, we had a brilliant time today, getting tucked, going through the corners.
I know, I was reliving my youth today, following you, slipstreaming and all that kind of stuff,
So for yourself, which one was your favourite?
Well, I agree with everything you say about the Honda. Dynamically, I think it's the best bike. It's got the smoothest engine, the kind of cleanest gearbox, the best suspension, the best grip. The only thing that puts it off for me personally is it'd be too small for me. It feels like a unicycle with me, really. It's just, there's not enough bike around me. So that's the only reason I wouldn't choose that. Maybe I would go for a Honda 125, but more of an upright style, maybe. You know, something with a bit more space. So I would actually choose the Zontis because the riding position feels really spacious, like you said. It feels like a big wide bike. There's a lot of sort of bike in front of you. It feels like a bigger bike. I like the fact it's got adjustable levers because the levers on these two bikes are too far out. There's nothing you can do about that. So you can adjust the levers on these. I think it looks great as well. I mean, I've tested these a few times. They've always looked in good condition. Chinese bikes of old don't take long to degrade at all. So, you know, I would choose this. I would have the Fantic in seconds. I think that looks fantastic, but I agree. I would probably save my money and get a kind of a worse 125 and then buy the 500, which is
I'd be
is
very
one of my
excited
favourite
for
bikes.
the 500. If that's what the 125's like, that 500 must be incredible.
It's beautiful. But yeah, it's just a little bit too much to spend on a bike you're going to ultimately sell soon. So,
but if you were fortunate enough to have the opportunity to get this one, and this is what you want, I mean, it feels like a lot of bike for a 125, but the price that's hefty.
But I think you made the right choice. For you, the CB125's perfect.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say thank you for letting me get involved in the test.
I mean, they're all in one piece.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have been like that when I was 22. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that's helped you choose your next 125, and keep watching for our next videos.